The INTP is a personality type that is most known for their quiet, easygoing and flexible nature. However, because they can so easily spot the logical inconsistencies in the systems and arguments, they can become triggered over simple societal norms that others are completely blind to. So, what are the INTP pet peeves and why? Welcome back, Psycho. Today, we'll be talking about the 10 things the INTP personality type absolutely hates. Before we start, have you liked and subscribed to the channel? Go ahead, and be sure to click the notification bell while you're there so that you never miss a video. Alright, jumping right into the video, starting with number 1. Small talk. Let's start off by saying there's not too many introverts that actually enjoy the act of small talk. However, for an INTP and a few other intuitive introvert types, small talk and other societal expectations just don't really make sense. For an INTP personality type, they don't see why humans would waste time talking about unimportant topics like the weather, when there are so many other intellectual things to talk about. In fact, this disinterest in engaging in small talk and useless commentary can make the INTP come off as a little cold and distant to people that don't understand their logical thinking patterns. Luckily, the logical side of an INTP understands the importance of connection. Therefore, they learn to engage in these types of conversations that just seem like a normal functioning human because the last thing they want is to be asked if something is wrong. Number 2. Too much detail. INTPs use their intuitive function when making decisions and looking at situations from all angles, which means they tend to see the big picture behind things. While this allows the INTP to easily brainstorm new ideas, innovate different possibilities, and daydream about the outcomes of their actions, they can easily get overwhelmed by the actual detail and mundane tasks that go into the larger goal. The INTPs are often viewed as one of the daydreaming personality types always in their head, thinking and analysing their thoughts, so when it comes time for day-to-day tasks and routines, they easily become disinterested. This makes jobs and lifestyles that require routines to be especially difficult for this personality type, and although they are fully capable of completing such tasks, they will get bored quickly and may even become fussy about having to do them. Number 3. Illogical beliefs. Often referred to as the logician personality type, the INTP approaches the world with complete logic. They need the world around them to make total logical sense for them to feel fully comfortable, and they do so by continuously analysing and poking holes in illogical beliefs and systems. INTPs have a hard time accepting the fact that people hold such firm beliefs in seemingly illogical topics like religion, politics, philosophical worldviews, and any questionable system that have been put in place by a higher power. In fact, an INTP can become quite bothered when people make decisions just because it feels right to them, with no logical details to back them up. This curiosity allows them to understand such topics much deeper than others, however, it can also cause them to come off as insensitive and invalidating to other people's emotions. Number 4. Being pressured to talk about their feelings. Not only are INTPs often uncomfortable when it comes to talking about other people's emotions, but they are just as uncomfortable when facing and discussing their own feelings. Because this logical personality type views every matter through their logical lens, they usually aren't checking in on how they feel about a matter before making moves as long as the logical details are lined up. Therefore, they often require much more time than the average person to process their emotions. As the INTP is already known to be private by nature, they keep the emotions they do have to themselves, sometimes even hiding them from their closest friends and family. So if they feel pressured to discuss their unprocessed or deeply hidden emotions with someone else, they can easily become distant and disconnected, not to mention hating every second they're being challenged on sharing them. Number 5. Not getting enough alone time. As most introverts require a significant amount of alone time to either process their emotions, recharge their social battery, and analyze their deepest thoughts in privacy, the INTP is no different. In fact, this logician personality type needs their solitude to effectively feed their curious mind. They enjoy solo activities like reading, gaming, and journaling, as well as simply daydreaming and enjoying their complex inner world that seems to be much more interesting than the one outside their doorstep. Without this solitude, the INTP can become irritable, disconnected, and even mentally and physically drained. And this goes with feeling tied down in a job or relationship, which holds them back from being independent as well, which the INTP does not do well with. Number 6. Celebrity gossip. One of the main illogical interests of society that the INTP cannot wrap their heads around is the interest in celebrity gossip, or any gossip for that matter. This personality type can't see the logic or value in keeping up on the latest gossip of who's dating who's friends with who, and so on. And that goes for their personal lives as well, which makes it difficult to engage in a lot of conversations, as that's usually the topic of most small talk. The INTP values authenticity, truth, and intelligence in the topics that interest them, so they completely disvalue the concept of worshipping people you don't really know. Number 7. Lack of meaning in their lives. Just as the INTP can't stand the concept of meaningless banter about other people, this personality type craves deep meaning in all aspects of their lives. They can't go about life doing one mundane task to the next, just trying to get by and race to the finish line. Whether it's meaningless romantic relationships, meaningless friendships, meaningless career and projects, the INTP who sees the bigger picture of things can't help but to distance themselves from anything that doesn't drive their passion. To work a 9-to-5 for the sole reason of receiving a paycheck isn't enough for this type. In fact, it will only be a matter of time before they find themselves completely hating it, even if it's a decent job with a decent pay. Number 8. Having to make quick decisions. The logical mind of the INTP requires seeing things from all angles, including all the minute detail before making a sure decision. Due to their perceiving nature, they tend to care deeply about the decision-making process by not solely focusing on the end result. Therefore, when an INTP is pressured to make a spontaneous decision based on their feelings, they can freeze and ruminate on whether or not their decision was the best one possible. While this trait can sometimes leave them in an overthinking cycle that ends up being less efficient than desired, quick decisions are not an INTP's forte. Number 9. Societal norms that don't make sense. Rules, practices, and systems that have little logical significance are one of the INTP's biggest pet peeves. While the majority of society accepts things like rules in the workplace and laws passed by governments for what they are, the INTP's independent and fiercely logical mind goes to work trying to find holes in the logic behind it. For this reason, the INTP has a hard time following rules and accepting societal standards if they don't hold up to their logical reasoning. Even simple things such as gender roles, family traditions, and orthodox meanings of life can irk this personality type, which makes them seem rebellious and even stubborn at times, when in reality their logical thought processes probably make a lot more sense. And number 10. Sugarcoating details. INTPs are blunt, and they usually expect the same from people around them, as they don't use emotions to navigate their decision-making process. They tell it like it is and only want to be told like it is because they never want to sacrifice the truth for means of being polite. They genuinely appreciate honesty in conversations and begin to feel uncomfortable when someone is holding back their honesty in an effort to spare the feelings of an INTP. Facts are facts, and the delivery is unimportant as long as the facts are coming through clearly. This means the INTP also doesn't fully understand why their direct approach in conversation may seem harsh or insensitive, because they are only trying to deliver their message as clearly as possible, making sure nothing comes off as misconstrued. In other words, the INTP is great for giving advice, but not exactly a person that would lend a shoulder to cry on. Well, that's it for today, Psychos. Are you an INTP? If so, can you relate to these pet peeves? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more psycho videos.